First situation was a FaceTime call. The second situation was when we were at an event and he tried to take a selfie with me, and I was like, no, that's not happening. He said that I literally wanted to catch him in his lie. So then
For what?
He told me his story, and I told him, well, Curtis, that is literally the story that Jessie tells, and at the end of the day, she was asleep. Like, that is what I said. And then he was like,
excuse me.
JessiSmiles just dropped an explosion of never heard or seen before audio footage of a consensual phone call between Gabbie Hanna and herself. I will be listening and responding accordingly in order in which they were posted by JessiSmiles on her Twitter as of today. But I want to forewarn you before we get any further in this video is that trigger warning. Secondly, there are no ads on this video, so I'm going to uncensored and unfiltered as fuck. And 3, if you haven't seen my first video on Gabbie Hanna, which is about an hour and a half, it is linked down below in the description. Highly recommend you check that out if you are in the blue about any of this stuff that I'm talking about in this video here, because it does in fact correlate and is linked primarily to my last video that I made. So with that said, Jessie said this. Gabbie and I had a phone call last summer. I never planned to release it. In fact, there's nothing I want more to never think or talk about Gabbie ever again. But her continued lying about my trauma has officially broken me, and I don't know what else to do.
This is what you told me. You hung out with Curtis's friends. Curtis was there, pulled you to the side, told you, I'm so sorry I was mean to you. I can't believe what Jessie did to you.
FaceTimed me right after our first fight because I genuinely, dead ass, do not know how people knew about it.
And why'd you pick up to him?
I didn't have the number saved. That's the first situation, was a FaceTime call. The second situation was when we were at an event and he tried to take a selfie with me, and I was like, no, that's not happening. And then the event that I'm assuming you have to be talking about is when I was at 1600 Vine, and then he came there. I think I was at Lele's, and then he showed up, and I was like, oh, fuck no. He tried to talk to me and pull me aside there.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a completely different situation. That's literally months and months later.
You were at a place with his friends. He showed up and pulled you to the side. I said that.
You hung out with Curtis's friends. Curtis was there, pulled you to the side.
I said
and you
that.
said that as the way that it all went down. I also didn't hang out with, like, his friends.
You admitted to it.
People who knew Curtis. I think I was at Lele's. We all lived in the same building.
Yes, and he showed up and pulled you to the side.
Guess what? I am allowed to have friends. I'm allowed to collaborate. Like, I can't cut everybody out of my life.
I didn't even know you spoke to him all these times. I'm finding out now, and honestly, I'm frankly disgusted. So I didn't even know all of this. I didn't know you took it.
Talking about you're disgusted. I literally just told you about the first.
Don't tell me what am I talking about. I just had a. Don't tell me that, because I just had a panic attack hearing you say that you heard him out.
He said, do you mind if I tell you the story of that night? And I said, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, I've heard her side. You can tell me yours. So he told me the exact same story. Like, literally.
I didn't even know that he told you the story of the night I was raped. I never knew that.
Yeah, so he told me the story, and then I told him.
Why would you listen to him? Why would you listen to him? Like, really? Why would you? He, like, even.
I was getting ready to defend you. Like, I was.
But for what? Just don't. Just say no, sir. Thanks. Like, fuck you. Like, even though she's not my friend, I don't want to hear how you think you didn't rape her.
Literally, I deadass was waiting for him to lie. And like,
who cares? Like, just hang up. Fuck him.
Jessie, I wanted to fight for you too.
Don't. Like, literally, fuck him.
I agree. Fuck him. I agree. But like, when he said that, I literally wanted to catch him in his lie. So then
for what?
He told me the story, and I told him, well, Curtis, that is literally the story that Jessie tells, and at the end of the day, she was asleep. Like, that is what I said.
I need to,
and then he was like,
excuse me, I need to call you back. I'm sorry. I'll call you back.
Okay. You're making it sound like I'm friends with him.
No, I'm not.
The story from the start.
I'm just saying, how could I get...
Like, this isn't news.
It is news!
Jessie, that's literally always been what I've said.
I've
always said, he asked me to tell, it's literally in my notes on Twitter that I said he asked me if he could tell me the story, and I wanted to catch him in a lie, Jessie. Like, I was ready to fucking tell him off and be like, that's not true. And then when he told me the same story, I said, yeah, so you're telling me the same story, which is she was asleep and you raped her. That's what I said. And then he said, okay, well, now you at least know it from my side. I said, okay, I'm never going to publicly bash you or defend you. I'm never going to publicly bash Jessie. And
yeah, right.
And by the way, he did try to blackmail me, by the way, afterwards.
He tried to blackmail you or me?
He did.
Why would you say that to somebody who has not only been found guilty, but has literally coincided the exact same story that she had, that what she went through? Why would you say, I'm never gonna, like, if you have two people coinciding a story together that this happened, why wouldn't you not bash a rapist? A genuine, authentic question.
Why did you lie about never speaking about me that day on TMZ article? Why did you lie about defending Curtis?
I said I never ditched my friend for her rapist or publicly defended my best friend's rapist.
This was the day the story broke. I hadn't seen the article yet. Whatever he tweeted, I genuinely have no idea what his tweet was. I responded with a current Vine meme, which was a Big Sean, Lil Wayne song, "Beware, beware, beware of a woman with a broken heart." I don't remember what he said. Obviously, it had nothing to do with the rape case. So that was that day before I ever saw it. The tweet is deleted because I was like, oh shit, I didn't understand the context of anything about this.
One of my friends, like a guy friend, was falsely accused, and it fucked up his life, and all of a sudden it came out that it was false, and I fucking hated that bitch. So when it came out, like, I said that thing about whatever the thousands, I don't remember, I have no idea what it actually said, but it's clear that I said something along those lines. First of all the ones that I saw, because I never went back and deleted anything, so all the ones that I saw never showed that. They said, get popcorn, or why is TMZ talking about Viners? And then I saw the one that you're referring to, which says somebody responded, the actual tweet's not there, so I don't know what it says, but somebody said something about, thousands of women, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I remember this. I tweeted this and deleted it like a minute later, because at that point, if you don't remember, we had no idea who each other were. I barely had a Vine account. I had a few thousand followers on there.
Right.
I was literally a fan watching Vine.
Gotcha.
I said something stupid that I felt bad about, deleted it immediately, and now years later we're talking about it when you and I, like, the fact that that's even coming up now, and that you use that as an argument. When we became friends 8 months after that, I put it up, I regret it. As a fan of Vine and a follower who was commenting on the lives of two people she never met.
Wait, I'm sorry, you can't...
Hey, I let you speak, please. So just like commenting on my life and my situation, our situation, that was what I did. I put some tweets up that I obviously don't agree with in 2020. It was 6 years ago.
Correct.
And I didn't remember them until I saw them again. And I was like, okay, yeah. But my whole point of this is, why is this coming up in 2020 when we became friends 8 months after those tweets were even out? So it just shows that you're retroactively trying to paint me as a villain. We're like,
Gabbie, the answer to your question is you. Do you realize that in your video, that is not factual? Like when you said, oh, I had no idea the context. Like you do understand that obviously that's not true.
no, I don't. Okay, Jessie.
Yeah.
You do understand, and I know that you know this. When that story dropped, every single person was saying that you lied.
Are you kidding me? Is that your justification? Because
Jessie, I'm telling you.
everyone's apologized to me for it, first of all, and it doesn't make it better.
And so have I.
And you're taking it back by trying to pretend it never happened. If you want people to stop calling you a rape apologist, you have to address the tweets.
Jesse, and I will, but I also
Okay, that's
have to
it.
talk about the history of our relationship, and that's what I plan on doing, is saying...
How is that relevant to you being a rape apologist? This was the
Jesse,
first...
how is anything you did in your video relevant?
You did a DM, and I basically did a table reading of it.
Now, might I remind the viewers is that Gabbie Hanna also went into a fan's DMs and was oversharing extremely personal information on Jessie and their relationship. And Jessie brings up a wonderful point. What relevancy does the history of their relationship serve with her association with, in fact, Curtis? How does that change the events in any capacity? Sometimes people learn information weeks, months, sometimes even years later on situations where the other party is being a scumbag shitfuck. And well, this is definitely one of those times with Gabbie here, but hey, we're not done yet.
I want a public statement and apology apology saying I should have never done this. It was inappropriate to share private conversations publicly. That is the way that I will stop talking about this and literally drop it. I want something that says I'm sorry that I hurt this person. I should not have done this. I shouldn't have shared private messages.
Gabbie, you can't make all of these demands. I want this, check, 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 check. Things have to be under my thumb and the way that I control things because I'm Gabbie Hanna and I'm a fucking maniacal control freak. I mean, that's what this is really displaying here.
And straight up, like, my lawyers will not let me drop this without an NDA because, like, I'm going to live the rest of my life wondering when's the next time Jessie's going to be like, you know what, fuck Gabbie. She did do this. I want to expose her again. And, like, that's where I'm at. It's like, genuinely just want it to be fucking for real over.
Let's keep this offline and just sue me and we'll see what happens in court. And then we don't have to bring our followers through this. We don't have to bring our fans through this. And we get to the bottom of what's been, you know, hurting you. Just sue me and then we won't have to bring our fans into this.
I'm more interested in bringing my fans into it because those are the ones who are affected.
Now, this is a key point that I'm going to be diving into in part 2 of my Gabbie Hanna Files video. But I'll give you a little intro. This is telling. What Gabbie just said, she wants to bring her fans into it. And this may be one of the most accurate, truthful things that Gabbie has actually said in behind the scenes, that she does want to bring the fans into it. It was only just the last few weeks that Patreon messages and Discord DMs started being leaked because Gabbie Hanna went into a very tiny, not well-known Discord with only like a couple hundred members and started threatening to sue and people in the Discord simply because of the fact that they were talking negatively about her or conspiring about her. There's a video linked down below if you're interested in seeing those full contexts. I'll be diving in that in part 2 in a later video. But this is all you need to know about Gabbie Hanna. Her response to Jessie here. This is extremely manipulative and really, I believe, highlights the epitome of how Gabbie Hanna handles things, especially with all the Patreon leaks and her talking behind the scenes on Jen Dent. And if you didn't see my part 1 video, check it out, it's linked down below. But Gabbie Hanna also pushed a false narrative of Jen Dent that she was a child rapist. Gabbie pushed this small little narrative on social and people behind the scenes, and then her fans picked it up and started spreading about Jen Dent that she raped a child, which is obviously one of the worst, horrible, most horrific things that anybody can claim, and as we established in episode 1, this is false. There's no evidence of it, nobody's come forward. This is completely, utterly manufactured false accusations to damage somebody because you have a gruntled hate boner with anybody who doesn't like you, who speaks negatively of you. This is messy and it's sick, twisted, fucked. Gabbie, you're a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you haven't noticed yet.
But
I don't want your money, Jessie. I do not want your money.
I'm not saying...
I don't want it.
I'm literally saying, like, I think your fans are affected too because this is there. I mean, like, I see your live streams and I was worried.
You should be. I'm fucking suicidal.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
You have to continue to do this because
No, that's why we shouldn't. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to
put.
put.
Not helped me.
Oh yeah, the suicide card. I love that. You know, that's another trend I've seen Gabbie do. Oh, I'm suicidal. Hey, weren't you suicidal in my last video too over the fact that your video didn't break over a fucking million views? I'm sorry, but when people pull the little mental health suicide card when either A, they're being put on blast, or B, they're being exposed for something that is really bad that they've done, if you pull the fucking suicide card, fuck you. Royally up the goddamn ass, man. Like, seriously. People make mistakes, people fuck up. I get it. But don't use suicide as a cop-out or a reason to try to push people into doing things that you want them to do by using the suicide card. I've been there. I know what it's like for somebody to use that as a means of controlling you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do because you're fearful that they may hurt themselves. So you essentially give in to these people because they use suicide as a card to make you feel bad for something that you A, didn't do, B, didn't mean, and you're trying to clarify and ask for, and you know, make things right, but they're not accepting it, and they use the suicide card. That is... I'm getting worked up. Don't use the suicide card.
I still have to clear my name, so I have to, like, keep doing this.
You are narcissistic abusers. And you have been for 6 fucking years, JessiSmiles. I have to keep that in.
So you're telling me you're gonna go on live stream, you're gonna tell all your followers everything about all our past. I don't see an end game in that for you. And that's why I was saying just to sue me.
Jessie, that's stress for me too.
I know that.
I keep going and sitting with these litigators, thinking about the idea of people saying how terrible I am for suing somebody with a child. What I want is for people to hear my side. I have no desire to take food out of your kid's mouth. I know that, like, your kid is in, like, speech classes. I'm like, that shit's expensive. You're a mother. You're a family. I don't want to hurt you. The only thing I want is for my name to be cleared, for me to feel like my story is heard, and for this to go away. Obviously, people are going to keep asking me about it, and, like, if it's not going to happen, then I need to, like, continue doing what I'm doing. And I also want you to work on a public statement, and then we can work on it together. I want a public apology that should never have been made public.
That's not gonna happen, so I understand.
Okay, so then we keep going.
I'm not doing anything with you. Like, I'm not. Like, this is not, you say we keep going.
I'm gonna keep going then. I have publicly apologized for a situation that should have been private. So I think that it's only fair that you can also extend that same courtesy to me, considering what I've been through. This isn't me trying to, like, hurt you or threaten you in any way. Like, this is not do this or it's gonna happen. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of is, but it's just like, I'm not doing it to hurt you. To extend that same courtesy to me, considering what I've been through.
Considering what I've been through. Wow, Gabbie. Professional victim much? I would say so myself. However, it's important that I mention this. Everybody has their stories. Everybody has been through their own personal trauma and experiences. And whatever those things are, I'm so sorry you went through it. But here's the thing to the world, okay? Making your brand to be a professional victim is not the way to go. Wearing a trauma backpack, and I mean this in, like, the most sincere way possible, there are people who wear trauma on their back, and they never get it resolved. They never go to therapy. They just use that backpack of trauma, and they walk around like Notre Dame, professionally victimizing themselves in every situation, even situations where they themselves have done wrong. Instead of just saying, yes, I did this, I was wrong, I am sorry. It has to be, but I want you to do this, I want you to do that, I want you to do this, you need to do this, you need to validate me. Considering what I've been through, this is what you need to do, Jessie. Like, holy fuck, dude. Trauma backpacks aren't fun. Nobody is above somebody else because of their trauma or below somebody else. Everybody's got their story and their shit that they've been through. But a professional victim will sit in this cycle over and over and over again and just point at everybody else, even when there's evidence that they've done wrong and it's right then and there in front of them, and they're just like, nope, nope, check mark, you gotta do this, make me happy. And to people like Gabbie Hanna, a royal fuck you. And I just want to share support. Subscribe to JessiSmiles. I'm serious, this is horrific that this person has had to go through so much crap from the things that Gabbie Hanna has caused based upon her own actions, her own tweets, her own words, and her own behaviors. Jessie said something true in the video. It's because of you, Gabbie. What is it going to take for you to realize that? Those are my thoughts. Make sure you check out my part 1 of the Gabbie Hanna files, link down below in the description. Part 2 is in the works, and things are actually continuously being added to part 2 because more stuff is developing like this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Support JessiSmiles, fuck Gabbie Hanna, and peace the rip out.